This has just totally reminded me of when I used to share a room with this guy because we couldn't afford the rent. And we didn't have much cash. And there would be times when I'd be lying on the floor. It was his place, so he'd have the bed. And I had like this little camp bed that I set up on the floor and sleeping bag. And I'd be perfectly comfortable to get brilliant night's sleep on that bed. But every now and then, I'd hear him either trying to roll quietly so I couldn't hear that he had tobacco, or I'd hear him very softly pad over to where my jacket was and lift my backy, and I'd wait until I heard the Rizzler come out, which is always quite loud, and then start rolling it. And just before he lit it, I was like, yeah, it's alright, you can have a cigarette.
Draw your sword, knock your arrows, and ready your spellbook. It's time for another episode of The Gamesmen. What role will you play?
Hey guys, it's me again. Welcome to episode 18 of the Gamesmen RPG. I, as ever, am Hardlydan, and for this show, I am your host. And with me, as ever, is the stalwart, the gaming personification that is Gary Amorous 89 Lieber. How the hell are you doing, sir?
My eyebrow just went way up in the air. I was like, gaming stalwart? What the hell are you talking about?
That was a hell of a fucking intro, bitch. You ruined it.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. That was a little weird. Hello.
That was a great intro. And you were just like, what? What was he talking about?
Anytime somebody says something good about me, I go, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be scary.
Yeah. I've been seeing a lot of, by the way, I'm doing good. If you want to know, but with the podcast and everything, like I'm mostly the Twitter guy. If Dan's not putting stuff up, I'm doing 90% of it because I'll be doing like all the stuff for episodes, like listen to our episode, stuff like that. But like people like Game Enthused Tiny 415. He said, like, we were just talking to you at the end of the last podcast, and I just listened to their podcast. I was like, yay! And I was like, oh, thanks, guys. And I texted him. I was like, I get a little bit teary-eyed every time somebody says something good about the podcast. But, yeah, I'm doing pretty good. It's funny. The first time I went to the doctor's after having, normally I go on the weekends when I don't work, but this time I went after work. And right after work, and they took my blood pressure. My blood pressure is high. I was like, yeah, that's probably why I don't come during the week, because my blood pressure's high. So they put me on blood pressure medication.
Yeah. I'm on blood pressure medication, but for the past 6 months, whenever they've tested I'm terrible at remembering to take my medication. And I'm lucky if I remember to take the ones that keep me alive. And I always forget the blood pressure ones. And recently I've been taking them and say, oh, it's fine. I keep thinking to say, well, I haven't actually taken the blood pressure medication for quite some time. Do I really need it? Because if it's fine and I'm not on the meds, not taking the meds because I keep forgetting, then surely I don't need the meds if my blood pressure is fine. As we haven't yet got onto the games you've been playing, I do have someone that we should add to the call.
Oh, is he ready to come on now?
He is ready indeed. Fantastically, we managed to get a third person to this podcast. It is Mr. JRMurdock, a brilliant author, loves video games. He's come to talk with us, and I'm glad I don't have to edit this show because we've been chatting for a bit, and now Gary's going to have to find this and get the intro. But how are you doing, sir? Have you been playing much, writing much? Tell us about your past week or so.
My past week has been a lot of taxi driving, my wife managed to get her car impounded, so I've been driving her back and forth to work, driving my daughter to school, driving my daughter to volleyball games, picking my wife up from work, going to the dentist, the eye doctor, all these fun trips, and it's like, whew, please stop. Can we stop now and have 10 minutes to do something else?
I get the feeling that when you answer your phone, you're half tempted to go, Murdock Taxi Service, how can I help you?
I'll be there in 10 minutes.
But really? Now I'm in bed. Now, this is the weird thing. I mean, most of the people we get on the show, I know what they play, what kind of video games they like, but I do believe you have been on the show in the past, quite some time ago. Back when Steve was hosting.
I may have.
Like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, and that was around the time when I was with V&A shipping out there.
Yeah. Oh, actually, that's where I came across you, actually. It was because you had that on audiobooks.com.
Yes.
And I absolutely loved that.
And there is a sequel that came out in December, actually.
Oh, I've not read it.
And I'm getting a lot of people that are like, wait, sequel? When did this happen?
Yeah, well, I'm one of those.
I was rather quiet when it came out, so there was a whole lot of life that went on.
I remember talking to you a while back about it.
Yes,
not on a show or anything. And you're like, well, there is a sequel. It's just not ready yet. And I can't wait.
Well, I know what I'm going to be listening to probably next week.
V&A is brilliant.
Yeah, I see V&A shipping and Billy Barbarian.
Yes, Billy Barbarian is a very punny book. If you're of the
man.
Robert
No wonder
Asprin
Steve
type
had
of
you on
novels.
with puns.
Yes, it is filled with puns. One of the main characters is Jack in the Box. Another one is Fat Cow, PHATCAO, and I actually worked with somebody named Fat Cow, and we used to call him Fat Cow. And he's like, no, you're saying it wrong. Well, how do you say your name? Fat Cow. And it's like, seriously, your name is Fat Cow. So I had a lot of fun with the names in that book and a lot of the Celine Dijon and the Great Poupons. So there's a lot of subtle humor like that, but it's the characters in my books always take the situation very seriously. Even though it can be a completely ridiculous event happening, they're very serious about what's going on.
You just reminded me of Billy Baddings, is it? One of the other...
Heading.
Yeah.
T. Morris.
Yeah, T. Morris, yeah.
Good old Billy Baddings.
Yeah, Billy Baddings. That was another great series, but
yes,
definitely more on the adult side.
Yes, his was a lot more... it still had a lot of that tongue-in-cheek humor, but it was a lot... more detective agency type of stuff. So
yeah,
and I was sad that his Kickstarter failed.
Oh yeah. I would have put in if I actually had spare money, but yeah. Anyway, this is a gaming podcast. Have you been playing any video games recently that you've been?
I actually got sucked into the not only the Middle Earth game. It's like an app you can download. But I got sucked into Stormfall, which is a Facebook, which is almost the exact same game as the Middle Earth one. And once you learn one, the other one makes a lot more sense, and you can do a lot better at them. But yeah, for a while I was playing Arkham Asylum. Freaking love that game.
Yeah,
cracking game.
I went all the way back to the original first Assassin's Creed so I can go through the entire series, and I started on the first one.
You should listen to the probably a couple podcasts ago. Dan ran through all the Assassin's Creeds.
Well, not all the ones I haven't played. I basically went from
Brotherhood,
and so Brotherhood
all the way
Revelations,
up to
all the way up to Black Flag, and I think I completed them all within a month, didn't I?
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's not bad. I have a lot of entries for a Game of the Elderly's Victory Achieved. At the time of recording, they haven't announced it. I mean,
Dan wants to win. That's all we're gonna say.
if you were betting on it, I have the most entries out of everyone. I'm odds-on winner, but that does not mean I'm going to win.
No,
it could be some guy that's just had one entry that could just. I've got it. It's got to be pushing 20 entries, isn't it?
It's either that or more now.
Yeah, and the people in second and third have something like 13
Which
entries.
is me and Mark Hannix. Yeah, and I have like 14, I think.
Yeah, and Marcanix has got something like 12, 13, or 14. So yeah, I've got a load more interest, but that does not mean I'm going to win. I just wanted for one. I've never really entered it before properly, and I was like, all right, this time I am going to totally dominate this, and I did.
You kind of cheated, though.
I didn't cheat. The rules state that if you finish a game...
the rules, but still, you did a bunch of 2-hour games.
I did a bunch of games that... like episodic games that have credits at the end of each episode. They all count.
I had to stop you during... I used the Witcher to stop you. Basically. You still entered more, but...
yeah, there are 4 that I didn't manage to enter that I planned to because I started playing The Witcher. But...
oh, and I just bought V&A shipping as well, just so you know.
Oh, V&A shipping's awesome. But anyway, we're not here to lick Mr. Murdock's ring piece. We're here to talk about video games. And have you finished anything else you've been playing recently, sir, or shall we?
I actually finally, after years and years of starting and stopping and never finishing, I actually finally finished Baldur's Gate last year.
I still haven't finished.
And that was an old one. I had that game for years. And I finally dropped it on the computer, and I'm like, you know what? I am finally going to get to the end. And there was one character I wanted to kill that had this really incredible bow. But he's like level 175, and the highest level you get is like level 40, and you can never kill this guy. And I'm like, I want that freaking bow. So I got to the end of the game, and it's like, oh, wait, there's a Baldur's Gate 2. No, not yet.
It's also the kind of game for a lot of modern day players. Obviously, you can only play on the PC. If they want to make it look like an actual game, they're going to have to put a ton of mods on there, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. I know the Baldur's Gate 2 is out, but I think it's basically on the exact same platform as the original Baldur's Gate.
But the thing is, it doesn't need the fancy graphics of modern games. The story's brilliant.
Oh, yeah. It's a very simple, you click here, your guy moves there.
Yeah.
You click on somebody, you kill that person. It's very simple interface, and it's just a matter of going from point A to point B and completing all the quests.
Yeah. Leveling up and
arranging your group properly.
It's a very kind of old school D&D style game, isn't it? With the roll and die to fantastic. I love
D&D.
I love the when the music started out, roll for initiative. It's like, hey, that was fun.
Yeah. But problem I have with some of those games is it all depends on the person that's written the story, and if they're crap at telling stories, then it's not going to be great. But Baldur's Gate is one of the standout games for stories, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Everyone talks about like the Elder Scrolls games. Everyone goes, "Oh, Skyrim was amazing," and it's like, well, yeah, but the story in Morrowind was far, far better. And people are like, oh, I don't play Morrowind, it looks like us. I was like, well, you can always mod it, but the story's brilliant, you should totally play it. And then I'm, oh, I don't know.
Now, I do remember way, way back in the 80s playing Wasteland and loving that game. And I didn't discover until probably 3 or 4 years ago that Mike Stackpole was one of the writers on that game. And they did a successful Kickstarter, and they got Patrick McLean to help with the writing. So you got Mike Stackpole and Pat McLean working on that one. So I'm anxious to pick that one up when it actually comes out, because I missed the Kickstarter.
Now, actually, completely off topic, and this intro bit's taking far longer than I expected it to. But
we're into the game, so it's not.
I suppose we're into the game. How, as an author, I mean, how do you feel about Kickstarters? I mean, surely if you've got a book you want to write, because I have seen a lot of authors that have been kickstarting projects because they're self-publishing or whatever, and they want to get it out there. But when there's so many different portals like Podio Books, and the fact that it's so much cheaper to self-publish when you're releasing it as an ebook. In fact, let's face it, it's just the time it takes you to save it as an ebook and then just either sell it or pass it on to people and hope that people, and give it away to get your name out there. How in the writers industry does Kickstarter figure? in your...
I would say Kickstarter, in my opinion, works for a lot of people that have at least an established social media presence.
Yeah.
If not a readership base. And it's something you really need to be able to go into and know up front you're going to get it backed.
Oh,
and if that's the case, my recommendation, if you're going to do this, is something, if any author is listening and they would think about doing a Kickstarter, number one, have the book done. First and foremost, have the book completed. Second of all, if you can afford it, have the book cover done so that you can say, here's the cover. So you have the cover art and a completed work.
I'm guessing when you say have the book completed, you mean have it sent to an editor and have them go through it and make sure that stuff's right,
well,
or at least...
that's the expensive part, and I would say no.
No?
But at least have your
because
part.
That takes money and stuff.
I'm the writer. Yeah, I'm the writer. I can get the book written. I can shell out a couple $100 for a book cover.
Yeah.
I can't shell out $1,500 to get somebody to edit this thing.
But you can say to the people that read your books and that you're following, okay, here's this book. Can a few of you proofread this? Tell me if I've made any mistakes. Have I got anything wrong with the law? Do that. That's free. And they're like, yeah, I'll do that to get the next story. You
could definitely go that route. And I would say if you're going to do that, your next book, you need to step up your game.
Yeah.
So you definitely want to go for professional editing when you can get there. But I think Kickstarter is a great thing for authors. You just really need to do it right and sit on top of that thing, send daily updates to the people who are at least every couple of days send updates. You need to be on social media. You need to be getting on podcasts. You need to be getting out there and letting everyone know that you have a Kickstarter, because if you put a Kickstarter out there and don't tell anybody, no one is ever going to find it and it will fail.
And actually, going back to one of my favorite authors that I found through free media, and that's Nathan Lau and podiobooks.com, which I think is an absolutely fantastic portal for a lot of authors, because they do have a set standard, don't they? If your book's utter crap, they're not going to let you, even if you do all the work and you make it sound fantastic, you have a recording booth for it. If the story's crap, they're not going to let you on it, are they?
They will let you on, but if you start getting a lot of people going, wow, this is really awful, they will get rid of you.
Yeah,
they will remove you and basically have nothing to do with you after that.
Yeah.
They want to make sure you've got a good story. You have a completed set of audio files now. So you have to have the book written, recorded, then upload it to Audiobooks.
Yeah.
Because so many people came in and would drop in 5 episodes and go, this is too much work, and then stop.
And they didn't want that. Some of the authors I've come across through podiobooks.com, I keep saying it to people, and they're like, oh, what do you do to help get what do you do? I was like, well, I find authors I like on podiobooks.com. And I said it to a friend of mine, and he just went to the adult section where they have the erotic stories, and they're not so good, but then that kind of story, they have a history of being trash, really.
And it depends on who you find as well, because Philippa Ballantyne does erotica really well.
Yeah, but
Nobilis Reed, really good erotica, but there are a lot of really bad ones out there.
Do you know who I found on Podiobooks? I found JC Hutchins, I found you, I found Nathan Lau, and I found Scott Sigler.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd put you up with Nathan Lau, Scott Sigler, J.C. Hutchins. I love all of your work, all of their works. And J.C. Hutchins he's in conversation with the movie deal. I think is Scott Sigler. And Nathan Lau, his background was writing scientific kind of like textbooks.
Oh, you got me into the share books, and I love
the share books are fantastic. They're old school sci-fi in which pretty much nothing happens, but somehow you're totally engrossed in the universe.
You spend 5 chapters learning how to make coffee, and you're engrossed.
That's what I was going to say. It's all about coffee.
But he writes so brilliantly, and even if you go into the Tanith Fairport books.
Oh,
books.
Yeah, I like that one. The one that I listen to on Podiobooks, but I listen to on my podcast kind of service that I'm on.
About 6 months ago, I had a dream, and I was I was so sure it was real. I was, oh, it's brilliant. One of my favorite authors, Nathan House, racing a book. It's coming out tomorrow. My money's coming through tomorrow at midnight. I'm going to buy the book as soon as it comes through. And I knew what the cover looked like. I knew what the title was. And yeah, I just totally dreamt it. So, okay.
See, I don't have dreams about books. I have dreams about things like a shark walks into a tailor shop and needs a new suit. Those are my kind of dreams.
Oh, that sounds like the start of a terrible joke.
You know, you're trying to measure his inseam and he's busy snapping at you, and it's like, whoa! And that's where some of the ideas for my books show up, you know.
I can't wait to listen to that book.
I could talk about books and fiction for eternity, but unfortunately the people that are listening to this show want to hear about gaming stuff, and
maybe they want to
we
listen to
still
books
haven't
too.
Finished. Well, yeah, maybe they do. I mean,
It's a change up for the podcast. It's good.
Books have been part of my life more than video games have been.
That's because you're older in video games.
No, I'm not. Pong is older than me, thank you very much, sir.
Sadly, it's not older than me.
Yeah, but you're, what, 10 years older than me?
And you're 10 years older than me, Dan.
Yeah, I remember when my stepdad came home with this little console box with 2 little rotating controllers and plugged it in, and bang, there's Pong. And it's like, well, I don't have anybody to play with. Then you play squash. All right. I'm losing against myself. This is even better than losing against my big brother.
But
and then, of course, the Atari came out. Bong, 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 bong.
The thing is, though, when you look at like the history of gaming, okay, yeah, there was a bit of a step from Pong to some of the games that came out on the 2600, for example. But graphically, they didn't change for quite some time. And then suddenly you go from the late 80s, early 90s to the late 90s, and you go into a whole extra dimension, and you're starting getting like Tomb Raider, you know, Lara Croft exists. And
the first Doom, the first Wolfenstein.
Yeah, the first 3D
were
maps.
awesome.
And
those games changed everything.
Oh yeah, they did indeed. Although Doom did spawn a terrible, terrible movie.
That you finally just watched.
Yeah, I saw that the other night, and yeah. Actually, I might as well say a bit about my week. Sorry, Gary, I'm skipping over you. It was a weird day. Mum was going out. We've got this 4-month-old puppy. It's half mine, half Mum's. She lives in one house, I live in the other. So basically what it means is when she has to go out, I have to go around and puppy sit. And she had a whole day going out. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do? I have had no sleep. I am feeling rough as hell. I'm not going to take my knees like twice. My right knee's twice the size of my left knee. I'm like, I'm not taking it for a walk. I am going to stay here, feed it, clean up after it, and watch Netflix. So I start off and I watch. I'm going through stuff, and I'm on a huge sci-fi kick at the moment. Actually, I say at the moment. I have just finished watching every single live-action episode of Star Trek ever. And
that's a big bill.
Yeah. All I have left is the movies and the animated series, and then I have watched every single Star Trek thing ever that's been available.
So you went through DS9, Voyager, Enterprise, all them?
Yeah, all of them.
He's been doing this for months.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's hundreds of hours of viewing.
Yeah, it's a lot of time I've wasted. So I think I've seen 2 episodes of the animated series, so I think I've got 20 or 22 episodes of that left, but they're all about 20 minutes long. That's not too much. And then I've got all the movies. And I'm pretty sure I've seen all the movies, but I want to make sure I've seen all the movies.
Yeah, the animated series was great because they had all the original characters, all the voices.
And they could do a load of stuff they couldn't do on the TV show because the technology didn't exist.
Yeah, the best aliens were on the animated series.
Oh, yeah. You know, in the first episode, you've got this guy that looks like he's got a dog for a head. They couldn't do that.
They couldn't do it good.
They tried.
Okay.
They can do it. They can't do it like anime.
Because I'm still at TeamSpeak, and he's left my channel now. He's like, are you talking to yourself? But anyway, yeah, so there's all that stuff. I should leave TeamSpeak. And that's what
My
the character
apologies.
sounded like.
I can mimic that voice perfectly.
It's like getting a message from the Quasar. Yeah, I've been doing it, but so I ended up watching, looking through it. And I was like, okay, want space combat. What I really want at the moment is like a modern version of. Do you remember? Did you ever play Privateer or
I don't think I ever played that one.
Right.
Elite or Frontier or the classic? You've got a spaceship. You've got to trade stuff to get a better spaceship.
Were you talking about Wing
pirate.
Commander Privateer?
Yeah.
I've never played Privateer, but I've played Wing Commander, so.
And it's the whole kind of, you've got this ship, you need to make money, so you can trade stuff, and then it gets to the stage where you're going to more dangerous systems, so you need to upgrade your ship so you can get better stuff, or you can keep doing the low rent stuff.
It sounds like Assassin's Creed 4.
Well, kind of.
Ship going to the hard area.
So anyway, that's the kind of game I'm looking for. But I'm looking through Netflix, and there's an XCOM movie on Netflix.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. By the guy that wrote all the XCOM games. I can't remember his name. I should know.
Now, is this before
Chris,
the newest XCOM came out, or after?
It's 1999, and
Okay,
it's got
so it's
the
after the
blonde-haired
first
guy
one came out?
from Scream.
Hmm.
You know the annoying blonde-haired guy from Scream that works in the video store?
Ah, God.
I've been fortunate enough never to see that movie.
Yeah,
That's
I've
not
never
bad.
seen Scream.
Anyway, it's got this typical late 90s guy in it, and it's a terrible film. Don't.
That medium length blonde hair and the scruffy goatee.
Shorter blonde hair, and I think he's not facially endowed. So I saw that, and then I saw the not Ghostbusters, the Doctor Who movie.
Which one? The
Doctor Who movie.
The Dalek one?
No, not the original one. The one.
Oh, you're
that's,
right, the 1990s one,
the
or like
1999 Doctor Who movie. Every movie I saw was 1999. No, Doom wasn't 1999, was it?
no, that was like 2000 something.
The first two movies I saw were 1999, and it was the X.
And that's the one with the doctor that only lasted through the movie.
Yeah, pretty much. Paul McGann played the Doctor,
Mhm.
and it was the handover between Sylvester McCoy to Paul McGann, and he's known as the shortest and the longest Doctor because he was on screen for the shortest amount of time, but it took so long. The next Doctor was Christopher Eccleston. So he was technically the Doctor until Christopher Eccleston.
Which was, 10 years about? No, not 10 years, like 5 or 6.
It was 1999, and Christopher Eccleston wasn't until at least 2000.
2004, I think 4 or 5.
So, yeah, that wise, he was the longest Doctor.
The longest incarnation.
Yeah, only because... Yeah, and the shortest, because he was on one thing.
Yeah, he was only on one show, or one movie.
Yeah, one kind of crap movie. No, it's not kind of crap. It's, excuse my language, fucking shit. Game-wise, I've been playing The Witcher. I still haven't finished it. Gary has finished it. Well done, sir. I've been playing the new Trials. It's not looking as good as the old Trials, and I'm not entirely sure about the whole kind of portal thing they've got going on, where you've got this AI talking to you, and she says, "Oh, I'm sorry about all these tests we're making you do," and stuff like that. Otherwise, the game, for the most part, is perfectly fine. I'm not sure I enjoy the whole doing the whole stunt stuff, because there are certain maps that if you want to get medals and you haven't got all the medals to go on to the next level of maps, you've got to do those, and it's much more kind of extreme, pulling like a Superman and flips and all the other different moves to get points. That's not what Trials has been about for me. For me, Trials has always been about getting from point A to point B as quick as possible. apart from that, a bit more of the same. And also, I have finished Law and Order Legacies, all 7 episodes.
Finally.
The story got really good. You don't notice it at the beginning, but there's an underlying story that goes through all 7 episodes.
No, that's pretty clever.
Yeah, and it's good. I mean,
well, it's Telltale, so...
Well, yeah, it's also what most TV dramas do anyway, and this is based on a TV drama.
Yeah, they've got one episode and little personal things going on from episode to episode.
Yeah, and the personal thing going from episode to episode is about a case that one of the characters didn't solve. And no one's going to play it.
I'm going to.
Right.
Don't you dare spoil that shit.
You might as well play it on an iPad.
I don't have an iPad, so nope.
Yeah, I think it's only available on PC or iOS. It's the one time I'm ever going to say that I would have preferred playing it on a touchscreen, because you might as well play this damn game on a touchscreen. You click on sentences you want to say, and
you have any idea how many point-and-click adventures I've played? That all you do is click.
This is not a point-and-click adventure. You can't move your characters. You can't go.
So
it's not like Monkey Island.
It's
just click on stuff. And when you're looking at the evidence, you've got arrow keys on the left and right, so you can pan the view. And then when you see something you want to look at, you draw a circle around it. You might as well do it on a touchscreen.
Yeah, it sounds like it should just be a touchscreen game.
Yeah, but I got it really cheap. I did enjoy the story. It has the cast of... Well, the main cast in the game is all done by the actors in the show, so that's a bonus. Cool. The graphics, not so great. But, yeah, the story did start drawing me in, and it did a better job than Assassin's Creed Liberation HD, where it started drawing me in about 10 minutes before the end of the game. This one actually started drawing me in a lot earlier. I think I was on, like, the 3rd episode. I was like, okay, well, each episode sounded like not bad, but I'm getting into this backstory and this, underlying story that's keeping me wanting to find out what the hell happens. But when it comes to the end story, you've either got to have a brilliant memory for what you've been playing in video games. Luckily, I kind of do, to a certain point in time. Or you've got to keep going back to the notes to make sure you don't get anything wrong. Because it's kind of, each scene is 3 strikes and you're out. And if you're interviewing something and you get it wrong, then you're out. And in the last episode, you've got to remember stuff going back to the 1st episode.
That's what I was going to mention. You said something about that. You're like, oh crap, I need to remember this.
It wasn't too bad. Most of it was actually really easy to remember. But yeah, it was an enjoyable game. And if you do get something terribly wrong, you can always replay it. But yeah, that's about all I've been playing. Gary, we haven't talked about what you've been playing. Can you make it quick?
Oh, jeez. No
pressure.
It's not like I have that much to talk about anyway, and you talked about half of it. But like The Witcher, Dan was away last weekend, and I was lonely. I was on TeamSpeak. Nobody was coming to talk to me, and I literally just dumped my soul into The Witcher, and I played 16, 17 hours in the last in 2 days, because I edited the podcast on Friday, so I think I played for like a half an hour. Went to bed on Friday, but like I just dumped every second I had out of work or whenever I wasn't doing stuff for the weekend to play The Witcher, and that game was pretty awesome by the end. And I'm wondering how the decisions I made are going to be different from what Dan does and whatnot. And going from The Witcher, I went to The Witcher 2, and I haven't really played too much of it. I lost the will to play games the last couple of days. I've been so tired.
You spent so long in the tutorial.
Yeah, that was the one thing.
I can't parry!
Yeah. No, it wasn't that. It was the, I can't remember what it's called. It starts with an R.
Riposte?
Yeah, that. There's supposed to be a symbol that comes up whenever you have to, I guess you have to pair it at the right time and then hit the left mouse button to do a whatever the hell you said. And, riposte, yeah. and I was doing that part for like 20 minutes, and that icon that's supposed to show never showed up. I just kept hitting the left click every second of every time that I could possibly try to do it, and it finally happened, and I finished it, that part. And then there's like another 10 minutes of tutorial after that. And I finally finished that. I got out of that. I said, screw this for a night, and I got off of it. And then I finally got into like the, I guess, main game part. And I'm really at the beginning still. I put like another hour into it yesterday, but I wasn't feeling like gaming, so I watched Desolation and Smog with the wife. And then...
Good.
Yeah. Oh man, that barrel scene is so good. I can't remember.
Keeps going and going and going.
That barrel scene is filler.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's awesome. It's awesome filler. It's not like it's just taking up space. Things happen.
Like, I can't remember what the really, really big dwarf is called. What, is that it, Womber? The part where, like, the best part of that scene is whenever he gets flipped out of the water, rolls down, it's just like, it's
stuck in
just
the
like
barrel.
dominoes with the orcs or whatever. And he's just rolling around, bouncing everywhere, knocking everyone over. And then he gets up, he breaks the barrel, and is spinning around, killing everyone.
He's wearing the barrel like armor.
I'm like losing my mind. And it's funny because I saw it in the theaters, but it's just so good the second time seeing it.
Oh.
I couldn't stop laughing. Courtney's like on Skype with her friends or whatever. I'm like, Courtney, it's the barrel scene. Stop it. Stop. Watch this.
Let's rewind it. Watch it again.
It's so good. Oh, that is like my favorite scene out of, I think, any of those movies that have come out so far.
And I think that was one of the scenes that they took the most liberty with out of the book, because in the book they hopped in the barrel, floated down to Barrel Haven, and they were done.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a tiny little scene.
Yeah, and the movie it just keeps going and going and going, and it's like, this is awesome.
At the end of it, someone's complaining about nearly drowning, and then it's just glossed over.
Yep.
Although The Hobbit is a very small book.
It's weird how they're making 3 movies out of it, but yeah, they're putting some crazy stuff into it.
It's not weird. There's money involved.
Yeah, there's money involved.
Well, yeah,
Plus, he's drawing a lot from Unfinished Tales and the Silmarillion.
Well, yeah,
So,
and a lot of people haven't talked about that. Yeah, there's the whole appendices, the Silmarillion, and the other work.
there's a whole lot in the movies that were never in The Hobbit.
Oh,
that
yeah.
were in the additional works. So,
that movie is awesome.
Yep.
They're
They're doing a really good job with those movies.
Yeah.
I recently rewatched them.
Like,
also.
Yeah, and Legolas he kicked ass so much more in that movie, and like in the little bit that you really saw him in that movie.
But
than
he shouldn't
did
be in
the
it.
other 3. He
No,
shouldn't be
in that movie at all.
He shouldn't
he's
be,
a
but
whale.
they put him in, and he is fucking awesome. Oh my
He
god,
shoots
him and
everything.
what's her name, Tariel, something like that. The
other
girl,
widow.
she's really good in combat as well. Like they're just going around shooting everything and throwing knives and cutting stuff with swords, and they're just insane. It's so
One
good.
of my favorite Legolas scenes where he was up on top of on a balcony somewhere, and an orc had already fallen down into a boat, and he kills an orc, it falls into the boat, launches the live orc up into the air, and he slices its head off as it gets up to level with him.
He just holds it on his swords. Oh,
Yep.
so
And I'm
good.
thinking, well, the physics of that is totally off, but that was awesome. Physics be damned.
Anyway, I'm gonna get on with the games I've been playing,
Anyway,
so we can finish
back to
this.
games.
Yeah. So yeah, Trials Fusion. Play a little bit of that. I'm not at the really difficult part, so I'm not raging too much. But there's parts I'm like, why didn't I not do that? I have. We'll just put it this way: Dan's gotten further than me, so I am for some reason always ahead of him at the beginning. I don't know why.
It doesn't look as good as the previous one.
Yeah, it's you. I don't care. But I'm like, graphics is never like, oh my god, this looks horrible. No, unless it's really bad, I will say. But like, unless it looks that bad, I don't really care about the graphics. But it's, I take it as another Trials game. It's fun. It's frustrating. I should have been able to do that a little bit faster. And like, I'm ahead of Dan for a little bit, and then Dan will just pass me up. I'm like, oh, son of a bitch!
Skyrockets out of you.
Yeah. But like, I've beaten Dan on a few. Dan's beaten mine. I said, oh, I went back and beat yours. Now he's beaten mine. I'm never gonna completely beat Dan because Dan actually does racing stuff a lot better than I do, and I barely play this kind of stuff or do time trial.
I'm just waiting to find the new version of Gigatrack so that I can.
I'm sure it's going to be in the last one.
So that's going to be, 40 minutes long?
Something like that. That's probably the one that Mark Annex got 400 hours, or 400 faults, and all this shit in before he finished it. Ah, that's insane.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, but, I'm enjoying it so far. I'll probably play it more over the weekend and over the next week, and you'll probably hear more. I'll probably beat it by the time we do the next podcast. And the last game that I only played one level of because I went to the doctor's and I was on my phone for the most part, but I pulled out my 3DS for the first time in a while and I took it off charger and everything. And Yoshi's New Island was still running from probably a month or 2 months ago from last time I played it, with Yoshi's New Island still running on it because I never turned it off. So actually, I don't even think I finished the level. I got like halfway through and the doc took me in and they did all the stuff, and then I got lucky and the doctor came in and the nurse said, oh, he's going to be really quick because it's only a checkup and everything. And I got in and out really, really fast. So I didn't get to play much, but I played a little bit of Yoshi's New Island, like one level, if even, and it's still okay. It's not the best game ever. A lot of people say they hate it. I'm very lenient with games, and I don't hate a lot. I mean,
as long as they entertain you, they're good, right?
Basically.
Yeah. Oh,
I still never looked at other stuff that, Chris Maurer. Wait, is it Chris Maurer? Holy Headshot. He said 2 games are up on Steam now. I'm guessing they're just like Putt Putt and they're kid games.
Yeah, they're new. I think are they not part of the Putt Putt series?
Maybe that's why he said it. I have to look. I can't remember all the names of them. I'll probably look maybe while our next break or while other people are talking.
Looks a bit shot.
Yeah, I said I was going to get home and start drooling over them. But Jay, a couple weeks ago, I spent money on a lot of stupid stuff. Just like I'm thinking of buying the Skyrim Collector's Edition statue. But yeah, I bought Putt Putt, and if you don't know what Putt Putt is, it's a child adventure game that I played.
Congratulations, you're in your 30s.
I was talking to Jay on this one specifically because he's a little older. It's a child adventure game, so it's a little bit. You were probably like 20 when this came out.
I think I was 14 when it came out, which meant that I was doing a lot of
Okay, so he was like 24. So yeah, I love this game whenever I was a kid, and it's like
gosh,
this
I
little
think I know what
car
you're talking about. Little Putt Putt. There was Putt Putt Goes to the Zoo.
Yes, I love that one. That's my favorite.
My daughter had that game.
Oh,
yeah.
I was going to say my first child played that.
Gosh,
the game was awesome.
It had the Australian Outback talker that would come up and give you advice and stuff.
Yeah. See, at least he knows.
Oh my gosh, that was Pajama Sam. Those are my daughter's favorite games when she was like 6.
That's one I think he said, Pajama Sam. I think that's the one he said was out as well.
Yep, Pajama Sam and Putt Putt. She loved those games.
Okay, this is going to sound a little bit weird. How old's your daughter?
She's currently 16.
Gary
is 25. But I probably played him a little bit.
That's 9 years, dude.
Yeah, but playing Putt Putt when you're 15, I can see it. You want to play something easy, why not?
And Putt Putt came out when I was 14, and I'm 35 now.
It came out whenever it came out in 93, the one that I just played, which is Putt Putt joins the parade. And I was 5 at the time, or no, 4 at the time with that one. And like, basically 20 years or over 20 years later, I played it. I still found it fun.
Putt-Putt was a blast. Yeah, my daughter,
it's so
like I
good.
said, she's 16, so we didn't find that one until 2002, 2003 when she found it.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Buy them again on Steam. They're actually not that expensive at all.
Really fun. They're really fun games. They're really simple. Go here, do this. Go back over here, do that. Go here, do this.
It's kind of like that point and click adventure kind of thing that I like. So.
Yep.
That's what The Walking Dead's for, surely.
You gotta get Putt-Putt in there though. Anyway, that's all I've been playing, and I can't talk anymore without getting completely judged by everyone listening.
Okay, well, before we go and take our break, we did say that we were going to talk about. I was going to mention every single person I mentioned to get on this show. This is nothing against you, Jay. It's just Gary really liked the people I was tweeting. He was like, "How the hell do you know some of these people?"
Yeah, like he's just naming people like, "Who's that? Who's that?" And he's, Jesus. And
I sent the same tweet to everyone. And
tell them what this tweet says.
Yeah. Basically, the tweet is the first tweet was emergency podcast guest alert. Anyone wants to be on the show? No one replied to that. So I thought, right, I'll start targeting people, and I started off with Holly B. And a lot of people probably
don't. And I thought
know.
He said Holly Berry.
Yeah,
Holly
B. At Holly B on Twitter. A lot of people probably don't know who she is, but she is the digital and community manager for PlayStation UK. Used to work for Namco Bandai UK and Destructoid. And she replied and saying, "Sorry, I'm in Japan at the moment. Can't really do it." And I went, "Well, fair enough." I was like, "Well, I might as well keep going." So I then went with Will Wheaton. He still hasn't replied.
No, odds of
I don't think it
Will
matters.
replying
We
are
got
slim.
somebody. We got somebody better than Will Wheaton.
Next was Jim Sterling, the games editor for escapistmagazine.com. And I obviously said, "Help, need a third for our gaming podcast. Can you fill in?" He was like, "Sorry, dude, I'm recording stuff at the moment." I was like, "Wow, I got a reply." Then I went for Total Biscuit in Australia. No reply. A chap that used to be on the show.
It's like really, really early in the morning or something.
Yeah. And then I went for, and I was really hoping that this one was going to work, but still no reply. And that was from Mr. George Takai. Captain Sulu. Yeah. I thought that would be one hell of a coup if we get him. No reply. But someone I've interviewed in the past about a game that actually the interview never saw the light of day because I lost the audio files. Dave Oshry, who now is the marketing manager for Gunner Optics with those gaming sunglasses. He was like, "Oh, I'd love to come on, but I can't do it now." Oh, damn it.
No, you said last time we asked you.
Yeah. The last time I asked, it was like, "How long do you need?" It was like 30 minutes. "Can you do a show in 30 minutes?" He was like, "Yeah, sure."
He's like washing dishes and stuff.
Yeah, and his dog's barking, and he's making a sandwich and blending some stuff. It was brilliant. Then there were the usual kind of stalwarts that always say no, like Gamer Girl 27. And
you can't say you always say no. It's just
she's never said yes.
Well, I mean, we ask people a little late sometimes too. Like, for her, you asked like 5 minutes for the podcast and everything.
Yeah, but I've asked earlier in the past, and there was all the overseas guys and a load of other people that I've asked, and they were like, "Nah, sorry." So it was all going to be a two-hander, and then suddenly, one of my top 10 authors goes, "Yeah, all right, I'll come on." I'm like, "Yay!"
Yeah, I'll just mention that we tried to get before tonight's debacle of trying to get every single famous person on the podcast.
One day
we tried to get Lee back on. We tried to get Garwin. I tried to get Tiny and Aaron from Game Enthuse on. Yeah. They're both going to see Spider-Man, or they would have been on. So I was like, damn it.
I technically
tried to get Steve on. He didn't answer to it. because it's his birthday. So, oh, by the way, happy birthday, Steve.
One day we'll have Will Wheaton or George Takei. One day.
Yeah, so keep listening to the podcast until then. You'll be listening to 200 episodes in.
Yeah, it might involve me winning the lottery and having to send them a shitload of money. But one day.
But yeah, we tried a bunch of people to try to get on, and just didn't work, and we finally got somebody, so it was awesome.
But now it just sounds like Mr. Martin is our Murdoch. Even sorry, terribly.
You can call
Mr.
me Martin.
That's mine. Yeah, now it sounds like. Please edit that out. Now it sounds like Mr. Murdoch is like our last hope.
You say,
But then, last hope was Obi-Wan Kenobi.
You know what I showed you, JRMurdock. You're our only hope.
Yeah. So.
Or our last hope, one or the other.
Anyway, we're going to take a little bit of a break. I'm going to stop digging this massive fucking hole, and we shall be back with the news. Okay, we are back, and we have some news, and for the first bit we're going to go fairly swift through. I think Gary's going to take most of it, some of it I want to talk about, and yeah, let's just get on with it. First off, there's something about, actually, I kind of want to talk about this as well.
Yeah, the first little bit, and I put this in the fast news bits that we're going to talk about, and I have a cat that's on my keyboard.
And it's not because the Pope smokes dope, it's because the Pope has some kind of horrific statue behind him.
Which is apparently has been there for 34 years.
Yeah, it's been there for some time. And it's full of skulls. It looks like... Well, actually, it's supposed to depict Christ rising from a nuclear explosion.
Yeah, and what it says here is... the news article is called "The Pope's Audience Hall Looks Like a Final Fantasy Boss Fight." And... basically, it is people go look at the link I'm going to put in to the show notes. It is some crazy scene, and it's what was it, Dan? 64 foot wide, 30 something foot tall. And it's just gigantic, and it looks crazy, and it looks like something that would be in like a Final Fantasy.
From a distance, it kind of looks like a blood splatter, basically, with skulls in it.
It doesn't look like Jesus rising from anything. Like from this photo from far away until you look at the video that's down in the comments that talks about it. It just looks like some crazy ass boss from like an early Final Fantasy game.
Lizard raptory thing, and it's.
It looks like that wall of tortured souls from the Devil's Advocate.
Yeah, well, actually, but bigger.
Yeah, but a lot bigger.
Yeah.
But it just looks so crazy and awesome that I was talking to Teflon and Dan earlier. I was like, man, I wish I could have a statue, like a miniaturized statue of that thing. And then Jason's like, yeah, you should put that bit. If they did that, you should put it behind your other statues of games.
If I had the background to them. Get that remade and have it just against a wall in my living room and use it as my backdrop for podcasts.
It's awesome and crazy, and like other than looking at the photos of it, you need to look at the damn comments of it, because there's one with the Pope and they have Final Fantasy characters playing or fighting against it. As one that somebody photoshopped in. And another Photoshop is like Bill Nye Science Guy and a couple other guys. They have here the last names. I can't remember the first names, but Hitchens, DeGrasse, and Dawkins, which are all atheists, fighting the Pope, and the Pope just looks evil. It's hilarious.
Now, I'm not a religious person, but I suddenly want to go to Vatican City, and
just to see that.
yeah, I'd like to be able to get close enough so that I could take I think the technical term is a crap ton of photos, so I can merge them all together and just make a perfect montage of the whole thing, and then maybe get printed out as wallpaper. Because that thing is horrifically scary. I mean, can you imagine showing that to a small child and say, "Yeah, he's in charge of our religion, and this is what happens to you if you're bad."
But other than that, the next thing I got here is photos from the landfill with the ET cartridges.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because Microsoft's doing this whole thing where they're gonna have these shows and stuff that they're gonna show, and one of them is done with digging up the landfill with ET cartridges, and in the first 24 hours of them digging, they found them. So it wasn't even,
well, we think they're here. Oh yeah, they are here.
So,
I just think I remember reading about this one, and I thought it was so awesome that for so long it's been a rumor and denied by Atari for years.
Yeah,
decades.
It's become like an urban legend, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's this big pit of ET games. Like, nah.
But apparently, what they did is they got a hold of somebody who poured the concrete over where they dumped them, and he was there as they were dumping the dump trucks into this big hole, covered it up, and he's the one that laid the concrete, and that's why he knew exactly where it was, and that's why they found him on their first shot. And they said, "Oh yeah, they're right there. Just got to go get the permit to go dig." And it took them like 2-3 years to get the permit to go dig it up. I just think it's an awesome story.
And there's not even just ET in there. There's Defender and just a bunch of other games. What's this one say?
Some of the shots I've seen of the stuff coming out of it, they look in really good condition.
Well, yes, in the desert, it's all really dry.
That's what I was saying. Like, they didn't just throw the cartridges in. They threw, the boxes with the cartridges in them.
Boxes.
And there's manuals, and they're perfectly readable. And the great thing about concrete is that it's going to be taking the oxygen out of what's there. So it's not going to be corroding. You're not going to get much in the way of decomposition from the paper in the manuals and stuff.
I guess there were people there that actually had generators, old tube televisions, and Atari game systems ready to play. So as soon as they pulled them out, they literally plugged one into a system and were playing the second those things came out of the ground.
I really hope they had to slow down the cartridge first. It's not working.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Like this
habit.
Yeah, but this stuff's just awesome and crazy, and it actually worked. And like what I was saying is, if they have millions of these cartridges in this landfill, if you get down to the middle, there's going to be completely perfectly preserved boxes, basically. I mean, they may be a little dented on the, on the corners of the box, but still, you're still going to get this basically mint condition box.
But it doesn't detract from the fact that there's a reason why all of those ET games were dumped, and that's because it is quite possibly the worst game ever existed.
And I've watched videos of this game being played, and if these cartridges go on sale, I am buying one of the first ones. I do not care. I am getting it.
On my Amazon list, there has been a 2600 there for quite some time, and they're surprisingly cheap for one that works. I mean, not mint condition. And yeah, I wouldn't mind giving it a go. I have an old CRT TV. It'll be fine. I use it to play Time Crisis with my old PlayStation light gun, because obviously light guns don't work on modern TV. So you've got to have a CRT for those games. But,
yeah, you got to have that old antenna that you can tie into.
Oh, yeah, and you've got to just get the slider just right so it's going to the TV and not the VCR. Yeah. But yeah.
Definitely a cool thing that actually got pulled up, and just I'm wondering how this documentary is going to go. Oh, we're looking for it's there.
I'm just wondering how much oil they could turn that into.
Melt them all down.
Yeah, and some of all those contact points were gold plated. There must be a little bit of gold there.
They should have had Geraldo Rivera out there.
Oh, and before we go on, we must stress that the Gamesmen do not condone blowing down cartridges. What you should do if it needs cleaning is use a little alcohol Q-tip and swab it, because blowing down it it's not actually good for the contacts.
And before I go into the one piece that's actually next, I'm going to say it says, Nintendo says Americans like Kirby when he's angry. And basically what it is, if people don't know, in America, whenever a Kirby game comes out, it always is like a mad-looking Kirby on the box. And what, I can't remember, I'm not going to look through the whole thing, but they talked to one of the guys with the Kirby games and stuff like that, the developer and whatnot, and apparently in Japan, because Japan's all quirky and all this kind of stuff, Japanese people find it cute and everything that Kirby is happy and cute looking on the box, but apparently Americans like him angry looking. I think I'd rather have a happy, cute-looking Kirby compared to an angry, I'm going to kick your ass Kirby.
Kirby the big pink puffball?
Yes.
Yeah, how could Kirby the big pink puffball look angry?
Well, if you look at any of if you look at it side by side by the Japanese release, or like the box art of the game compared to the American version, they go from Kirby like having this, I'm all happy, happy-go-lucky, to like, I'm angry.
I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, like he has this mad face on him. For some strange reason, apparently Americans like it better that way. I don't know, but I guess they found out that the appeal, yeah, but the appeal is more angry, and I guess you could say with Americans playing Call of Duty, we're all angry.
The next Swift bit of news is terribly sad.
Yeah, Mr.
One of my favourite actors.
Yes.
Did he get knighted? I don't think he did. Should have been. Sir Bob Hoskins.
Yeah, Bob Hoskins died on April 29th at the age of 71. And for people that... Yes. Yeah, he was fighting pneumonia in the hospital. Or whenever it died.
Yeah, and for those who think, come on, do I know him? If you've seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit, he was the main guy in it. He was in actually so many movies. He was in the Great Train Robbery, and I'm failing miserably.
Enemy at the Gates.
Yeah, loads, absolutely fantastic. Basically, he's a Cockney, and there's a fantastic. There's a radio show on BBC Radio 4 called Desert Island Discs, and it's basically like a chat show. And the premise is you're on a desert island. What things do you take? Books and whatever. And they interview them about his life, and it was like, so were you did you plan to be an actor? He was, oh God, no. A friend of mine was going for a part in this show, and I came along with him for a bit of support. And I'm sat down there. He does his bit, and he goes, all right, you're next. And I was like, I just came. He's like, I'll give it a go. You might as well. So he does his audition, and he gets the lead part. And it's like just a natural fucking actor. And like that's the kind of stuff that just doesn't happen to most people. And he got the lead part, ended up spending the rest of his life as an actor. And in the interview, he says, most people, they're lucky if they have a job that they really enjoy doing, and that's their life. And other people are really lucky if they find a partner and they get married, and that's their life. Well, I've been lucky enough to have both. I've got a job that I love doing, and I've got a wife that is my world. I was like, damn it. You, sir, are one lucky, lucky bastard. Fair play to you.
Yeah, and one of the... Go ahead.
I was going to say, he's been in an incredible number of movies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
all the way back to Brazil and beyond.
Yeah, Brazil, of course.
I totally forgot about him in Brazil. I'm going to go back and watch that one again. Wow.
I put up a tweet that says everyone has to watch the Super Mario Brothers movie and suffer through it just for him because he died.
Oh, please don't make me suffer through that one again.
Yeah, they'd be better off watching Brazil. It's one of Terry Gilliam's finest movies, and it's got Bob Hoskins.
Still holds up all these years later.
Yeah,
I will be watching that movie again just for him whenever maybe this weekend. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, he was fantastic, and I, for one, and I think Gary as well, I'm gonna miss him. He was truly brilliant.
In the gaming industry, he played Mario in a movie. Just
that was like the black spot in his career.
One smudge on a beautiful record.
Oh yeah, fantastic man. But we are not going to be maudlin. We're not going to just cry off into the distance. We still have more stuff to do, and we've got some more regular news. We're going to start off with Nintendo at E3, or rather not really at E3, because yet again this year they're not really there. They're hosting another digital event on June the 10th.
But they're doing a lot of different stuff in it, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I kind of understand why they're doing it, because it's going to be simulcast worldwide, and everyone can say it, but it's not like you can watch E3 anyway. Basically the event's called Play Nintendo, and there's going to be just pretty much a lot of it like last year, with basically a digital thing going on. That I suppose they don't have to worry about getting people over to the States, which, let's face it, it's pretty much half the world away. And they're launching a series of brand new channels, and apparently it's going to be their biggest gaming event of the year, and it's going to obviously communicate directly to the fans, media, analysts, investors, and business partners all at the same time. And it really does sound like they're building that up quite substantially. But I am kind of like, well, a lot of people's like, should they be at E3? Shouldn't they be at E3? Nintendo always like to do things differently. I'm kind of thinking, well, perhaps they shouldn't be at E3. But what I am thinking is they should probably get rid of Nintendo America's president.
Oh, come on, Reggie's awesome.
His background is in marketing, like sales marketing, not
Papa
video
John's.
games, retail marketing. Yeah.
Wait, was it Papa John's? I think it was.
It was some shitty guy.
I know it started with a P. It's either Papa John's or Pizza Hut. I think it was Papa John's.
Yeah. Although he did talk about...
But he did have the best, for his first year coming on, I can't remember exactly what it was. Something about playing games and kicking ass. So...
Oh, so he misquoted... well, let's keep it in video games. He misquoted Duke Nukem. But,
gentlemen, I apologize. If you remember at the very beginning when we started talking, I said I am the taxi. I have been summoned by...
Okay, that's
yes.
Right,
my favorite daughter has summoned me to pick her up.
So I apologize.
You have a favorite daughter.
Yes, I only have one, therefore she is my favorite.
Fair enough.
I was going to say, I'm sure he only has one.
I was going to say, because there's a big pile of doo-doo that you're about to get into this. Well, that's quite all right. Thank you ever so much for getting on the show. If you can furnish Gary with some links to your stuff, we'll be sure to plug it.
I absolutely will. And if I know each of you went out and were gracious enough to do a purchase, if either one of you need any other reading material, by all means, just let me know. I will send you an email with as much reading material to keep you busy in between games as possible.
I always need reading material, but I'll still be buying it anyway. Because I like giving money to people that produce content that I enjoy.
Oh, new news that you have about your books, just send them to the Gamesmen@gmail.com.
Yeah.
I will absolutely do that, and hopefully I'll have 2 or 3 more coming out. I actually wrote one that was the last book I just finished writing was the Giant Robot Planetary Competition, which is about giant robots getting Yes, well, just the title I thought was great. The GRPC, Giant Robot Planetary Competition, but it's about it's actually set in the V&A shipping universe. But they find planets that are uninhabited, and they send 1,000 giant robots to this planet to basically battle to the end for the mining rights to the entire planet. And whoever wins gets to haul the planet away and basically trillions of dollars in mining rights to it.
Fantastic.
That's awesome.
Well, that hauling a planet away is huge.
Is the premise of V&A Shipping Book 2, which is why I thought, well, what are they going to do with this planet? Hey!
Yeah. Let's not just mine it. Let's haul it away, then mine it.
That's right. Let's move it somewhere where the equipment is.
Before you go, the thing that got me about V&A is I always know that I'm invested in a universe when I start thinking about playing a video game in that universe or other stuff that could be happening in that universe. And V&A it just got me. I loved the premise and just the way you went about it. It was brilliant. The book was actually based on characters that we played in high school for a role-playing game that we invented called Bulldogs. Oh, I wonder if that's why I got that whole kind of game there. I was there going, this could totally be in a kind of RPG kind of space.
If you know J.R. Blackwell, she actually helped to write the RPG, and my friend Nathan Crowder, who helped invent the game, went on to write it and publish it. Oh, and it's published as an actual game through Galileo Games.
Well, send us the link for that as well.
I will absolutely. As soon as I get back from picking up the kid, I will send you links galore.
Anyway, it's started in the notes, and I'll put it into the podcast or into the show notes.
It's been
look for an email about an hour.
Catching up with you, sir.
Oh, and thank you so much for being persistent and tapping me every once in a while. Is great to be on.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right, and we'll talk to you two very, very soon.
Yeah, we shall. I shall let you know when this show's up if you want to relink it, whatever. It's entirely up to you.
I will absolutely do that.
You don't have to. It's entirely up to you. But yeah, cool. Catch you later, sir.
Have a good night.
All right, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Taxi.
Peace
I'm
out.
going to go be a taxi now. Bye now.
Bye. Anyway.
So yeah, I was way through Nintendo.
Yes. I can't remember exactly everything that
yeah,
said.
so they're doing all this stuff, and it's there's an opportunity to play Super Smash Brothers for the Wii U at Best Buy.
which I told Steve, I was like, yeah, during E3 I'm gonna have to drag you to the Best Buy and beat your ass in Smash Brothers, which I haven't played Smash in so long that I probably suck just as much as he does, because I don't think he's really ever played Smash. Not sure.
But, apparently, Nintendo America's president and COO, or COO, Reggie Fils-Aimé, oh man, I like French food. No, that guy.
I like French food. Oh, man.
In support of the event, he said, we demonstrated last year that we are never afraid to reinvent a proven tactic or to break completely new ground if we believe it will provide the best experience for our fans, followers, and partners. So, whether you're attending E3 in person or joining online, there's an amazing lineup of games, experiences, and events coming your way. And I do like the way that if I was in the States and I could go to Best Buy, I could try out some of the stuff, and the time zone thing wouldn't be an issue. But unfortunately, they don't say anything about what's happening, I don't know, elsewhere in the freaking world. Apart from the fact you'll be able to watch this stuff and you'll be able to see some guy that used to work for a completely non-relevant gaming company talk about video games, and he doesn't really know much about video games in the first bloody place. It's not just Nintendo and Reggie that I've got an issue with. There are so many companies that just the marketing led and the marketing people don't actually know anything about video games, so they are just looking at two games, the biggest two games in the world, which unfortunately right now are Call of Duty and Candy Crush, and they are trying to make the next Call of Duty and or Candy Crush. I'm kind of looking forward to the company that tries to combine the two, see what the hell they come up with. I'm guessing it's going to be shit, but...
Which, the reason I kind of put this news in here is Nintendo's been coming out with a lot of stuff this week, and we'll get to the next bit later as well. But, like, they're just putting up a bunch of these little things, like, that are actually surprises, where this was just a video, at least this one kind of explained a little bit of it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see what they come up with. I don't think they need a big press conference to show all their fun stuff or good stuff. But the next piece I'm going to talk about is about
Courtney's favorite game, 2.0.
Yes, which is
second
for
favorite
people
game.
that haven't been listening long enough to know. Disney Infinity 2.0 is coming out with Marvel characters, which is going to feature like Hawkeye, Hulk, Black Widow, Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, all those kind of people. And then they're having other characters like no, they already have Frozen in the first one. Maleficent and stuff like that. So it's not just all Marvel and not the Wii U because it's not Nintendo. Or it's not just Nintendo. The Disney Infinity Portal thing is going to work. It's all going to be backwards compatible. You can use all your old characters and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're
The raising
get
the
much bigger areas. The cap goes up.
The level's going to go up to 20 instead of 10 as it is right now. So
20.
So it takes a few hours to get them up to 10. So, and you complete your playthrough.
How long
of
does
the
it
campaign.
take to get to level 10 in The Witcher?
I don't know because I never really looked at the level. I just looked, okay, I have this, but I made it to level 30 something by the end.
Yeah.
So
the good news
50 hours I made it to level 30 something. So just divide it.
The good news is with all the statues and stuff and the Disney Infinity stuff Courtney's going to be getting is that you can justify getting another kind of stupidly overpriced collector's edition with a massive statue. Yay!
Well, yeah. I think that it was something like 24 more characters are going to be coming out during this, something like that. So, and apparently the first one had...
The amount of plastic you're going to have in your house, you could keep in...
if I melted down every statue...
You could keep Pamela Anderson going for the rest of her life.
But yeah, Disney Infinity, it's that thing that my wife is in love with, and she's gonna keep playing the shit.
Now,
I'll probably play with her. So
this next bit of news, I can't decide if the title should be "Ouya, oh yeah," or "Oh yeah, Ouya." But either way, apparently now you can stream a range of AAA titles directly to your Ouya console, thanks to the launch of a new cloud gaming beta program from Playcast Media. And I'm pretty damn sure that none of our listeners, actually no, someone who was on a previous show has an Ouya, but he doesn't really listen, and that's Lee, because he's...
I know there are some people listen do have it, so...
Do they use it?
If they care, a lot of people it doesn't take up much space, so it's not like,
well, yeah,
an eyesore or anything.
But the Playcast streaming service is deployed through Amazon's AWS infrastructure and includes games from publishers such as EA, Ubisoft even, Konami, Warner Brothers, 2K, Namco Bandai, Square Enix, Capcom, Codemasters, Disney, Sega, Atari, and THQ, which sounds like pretty much all the big players, but from today, when this was written yesterday, 2 days ago for me now, basically you can play them during the beta period for free, and the games include Lego Batman, Frontlines, Fuel of War, because that's so good. Prince of Persia. Well, that's not that old, is it? Oh no, hang on, wait, it is. Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing. Okay, fine, fair enough. Super Street Fighter
I hear a lot of people
4,
say that All Stars Racing is very good, so.
Dirt 3, and Mirror's Edge. So yes, they once were AAA games, but not so much now.
Well, can AAA be taken away from it if they're a AAA developer?
Well, no, I think the game has to be AAA, and actually, I wouldn't say a lot of the so-called AAA games that have come out are AAA. They aren't freaking amazing, which is what AAA kind of pretty much means. But
well, you think Call of Duty? I don't think any of those are great, but still, it's a AAA game.
Well, yeah, but that's, I guess, mainly to do with the budget behind them. Frontlines Fuel of War didn't have a massive budget, and it wasn't that great. Mirror's Edge had a tiny budget, and actually that was a good game once you got your head around the control system.
Is that an Ubisoft game?
Or Mirror's Edge?
I can't remember.
I believe it was. I can't remember. I could be completely wrong. I do know it was the story is written by Rhianna Pratchett, who is Terry Pratchett's daughter. One of my my favorite author, Terry Pratchett. His daughter wrote the story.
Nope, sorry, that was EA. Completely wrong. Yeah. So that makes it AAA because it's EA.
Yeah. But Playcast is saying that only a small handful of games will be available today, as of 2 days ago, recording 4 or 5 days ago. When you hear it,
because it's going to come on Sunday.
That number will ramp up over the coming weeks as the service's stability is proven, and all.
So
games
at least you'll be able to finally play AAA games on the Ouya.
Yeah, but the thing is, there's a fantastic service out there that isn't getting use, and it offers the same thing but has a brilliant catalogue of games, a huge catalogue of games.
If you say PC, I'm going to
No, because
you.
that doesn't offer the streaming service, and it's on live.
Isn't On Live dead now?
No, it's not. It's still going. It got rebooted in the UK a few months ago. And I can play The Witcher 2 on my cell phone with a controller plugged in. And it looks freaking awesome. I can play it on my Nexus 7. I can play it on a Mac without installing anything and just stream it all as long as the connection's fine. And you go, oh, well, the connection's got to be fine. Last time I was in hospital, I was using my phone and I was playing Dirt 3 on my phone with touch controls, and it was spot freaking on. And I was using their free internet.
The only time I've used On Live was for Dark Souls because it was like attached to that shit.
But the thing is, on Live, I mean, they came out and they were like, they had the micro console and stuff. They gave me one at Eurogamer. And it was, no, that's not what they need to be pressing. They need to be pushing the fact that you can play these games. They're AAA games that look absolutely fantastic on your cell phone, or on your tablet, or on your Linux laptop. And apparently I'm calling...
What are you doing?
Apparently I'm calling someone.
I just heard someone in the background. I was like, what the fuck's that?
If it was you... Oh, shit, I'm calling someone else now. Oh, this is not going well. Oh, I picked my phone up and put it down and I started calling someone. If it was you, terribly sorry. It sounded like you went to answer.
I hope not. It's going to be expensive.
Well, I don't mean you. I mean anyone that's listening.
Okay.
But yeah, don't get an Ouya. Use On Live. The service is just as good, and you can use it on just about everything. In fact, I've even seen a version of Ouya working on a Raspberry Pi, and you can get a Raspberry Pi for about £30. But anyway, I think you've got some more Nintendo stuff.
Yeah, Nintendo's been coming out with a lot of crazy... Not really crazy. They've been coming out with a lot of kind of surprise stuff this week. And other than that little video that they had for E3, they had a surprise Nintendo Direct that they came out with very, very early in the morning on, yesterday, actually. Well, it was only yesterday. But it was all about Mario Kart 8. And this game looks so good.
It does. It looks fantastic. It looks so much fun.
And the thing, people say, oh, the Wii U's graphics and all that stuff. For Nintendo, the sad part is they probably only looked at the games they do for graphics instead of a Call of Duty game or whatever, and that's why they're not getting all these backers. but like their games they make, since they're all cartoons, cel shaded, whatever the hell they do, um, with it, they look amazing. But like all this stuff they have, they can, like, on the Wii, Mario Galaxy looked amazing. Skyward Sword looked amazing. They don't need super graphic, super high end machine or consoles to make these games look really, really good. And Mario Kart is one of those games, it just looks so good. And they said, by the way, it's gonna run at 60 frames per second, all this stuff. So, you don't need those high-end consoles to get 60 frames per second. You just need to know how you work your software right and all this other stuff. But
have an 8-year-old PC.
And one of the biggest things I'm gonna mention is they call it Mario Kart TV, and what it is you can actually, I think because the other consoles, putting stuff up on Twitch and stuff like that, or streaming through Twitch and stuff like that, they actually have something where you're going to be able to complete races and then put them up on YouTube and everything. So apparently the Wii U can do this stuff, and they're I'm guessing this is the start of it with Mario Kart, being able to record and then post it to YouTube. So that's going to be pretty awesome, and I really like that. And then he come out with some new items that are coming out, like there's the super horn, and Tony Miller, which I know he's not going to listen to this because we're not a PG podcast, and they have a PG podcast, which is Nintendo Oki, and you should listen to them because they're awesome. They make me laugh all the time. But it's called the super horn, and whenever you use it, you can, if no matter how many players are around you, say there are like 4 people that you're driving past, or you're next to, and you're racing, and you're like, oh crap, I gotta make it past them. If you have the super horn, you hit the button for it, and it blows them out of the way, or makes them do a flip, or like they crash or something like that. So they get stopped for a second, and you're blown past them and everything. And that's one good use for it. Also, the other thing you can use it for is with the blue shell. Everyone hates the spiky blue shell because what it is no matter who has it, which I think is normally second player that gets it, is this spiky blue shell, and it's always been unavoidable. Like if somebody has it and uses it on you, they can use it on you in the last like 5 seconds, like right before the finish line, and they can knock you out, and it takes like 3-4 seconds to recover, and in that time somebody can take you over and win the race. Well, with this horn, you can actually knock the blue shell out of the air and stop it. So this is like the perfect device for somebody in first place to not get screwed over. And
what's the shell you can jump if you sit behind you and you get the timing right?
I'm gonna guess the green shell, because the red shell is a seek and destroy, and it always hits you. So I'm gonna guess green shell.
It's been a long time since I played Mario Kart, but I do remember.
I've never jumped a green shell, and I don't think I've ever been hit by one.
Yeah, so I roll. You ain't winning this race, you cheating bastard.
And one of the other items that they're bringing into it, which was kind of in Mario Kart 7, but now it's in Mario Kart 8. It's called the Crazy 8, which, like in Mario Kart 7, it pretty much gives you every single item available, and you can just you got all these different items spinning around you and whatever's in front of you. So you have a green shell like in front of you. Whenever you hit the button, you'll shoot out the green shell. If the banana's in front of you, shoot out a banana, and you just shoot out all these items and stuff, and you can mess people up, whatever. What was the other one that I saw? I think there's some like the piranha plant. I can't remember if it actually has a name. The piranha plant thing is also a new item in the game, and what it does is you pull it out, and then it'll like chomp on characters that you go past, or it'll eat bananas that are in front of your path, so you don't get don't get screwed over and you hit and you spin out for a second. You fall behind. That's
It's more of
another
a
good weapon.
defensive kind of power up.
Well, it's both. It's defensive and offensive.
Yeah, and offensive, yeah.
In the way that it can attack other people and slow them down. So there's. It seems like with 8 they're gonna have a lot of.
Can it eat the spiky blue shell?
No. The only thing that stopped the blue shell now is that horn, which is probably one of those things you're gonna get in for. Well, I'm hoping that it will show up more often in first place. But like if you're farther back, you'll be able to use to get up further in the race and stuff like that. But
the amount of times I've been last and they've given me the bananas, I'm like, really?
Yeah. I mean, they do balance it pretty well. Since you haven't played like Mario Kart 7, it seems like they got the balancing pretty well. And if you're in last place, they'll give you something that will shoot you further up, like the infinite mushroom thing until time runs out or whatever. Or they give you the triple mushroom, which you can speed up 3 times in a row and stuff like that. So they as far as I've seen in Mario Kart 7, they have balanced it to where you will get better items from wherever you're at in the race. So I don't know, it just looks so good. The items seem like they balance it out even more. If you have that horn, you won't get screwed over in the end. If you're still gonna have to time it right, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But you will be. You have that defensive ability to not get messed up in the end. I'm sure people are gonna figure it out perfectly and stuff. But other stuff talked about the racers. They showed Pink Gold Peach, which is kind of like the equivalent of Metal Mario, and stuff like that. Heavier characters and just different stuff. And then they also showed like the difference between bikes and carts or whatever. And people in Mario Kart Wii, I think it was, were using the bikes a lot more because they're so much faster than the carts. And now, depending on the area or the track, the car can either be faster or the bike can be faster. So you're gonna have to figure out which one's better for which situation. And they also showed the Koopalings. They showed all the different Koopalings, Eggy, blah blah blah, all those, all 7 of those that are gonna be playable in the game. And then they showed baby, oh god, what's her name? Rosalina from Mario Galaxy. She's gonna be a playable character and stuff. Just the video looked really cool. It was really awesome. I really liked it a lot. But one of the biggest things that I want to take out of this is, the online multiplayer is going to have 12 players that can be in a race. And then the biggest thing is they're coming out with a Mario Kart 8 Wii U bundle. And now I guess I'll do this hand in hand. If you buy Mario Kart 8 and you register it on Club Nintendo before July 31st, I think it was, you get a free digital game for the Wii U. And for America, it's Pikmin 3, Wii U Party, The Wind Waker HD, and New Super Mario Brothers U. But if you're in the UK, which is be good for you, Dan, they have 10 different games, and along with those 4, there's like Monster Hunter. I can't even. Game and Wario, I think it's called, and there's
If anyone feels like buying me a Wii U, then that's that bundle would be awesome.
With the bundle, it comes with the Wii U, it comes with Mario Kart 8, it comes with a red steering wheel cover thing that was kind of like with Mario Kart Wii. Well, I mean, you can have that kind of stuff and it'd be cool. And then it comes with the Mario Wiimote. And for people that don't know, it's a red Wiimote. I think it's got blue in the back for like his pants or something. It has an M on and stuff like that. But it comes with all that stuff and then you get the free game with it as well. For in the U.S. it's $329.99. I don't know what it is in other countries. I did not look that up. But for $329.99, you're going to be able to get the console, one of the biggest selling games for the Wii U, and then another free game along with it. I think, this is my personal opinion, people can message and say whatever they want. I think this is going to be the biggest. This is really going to kick the Wii U out there. It's really going to get them up and selling a lot more units than they have been, since they came out. Because with a free, we'll just say Pikmin 3, that's another homemade AAA Wii U game that you're going to be able to get, for just buying the system itself.
I'm not sure if I'd go for Monster Hunter or Pikmin.
I would play Monster Hunter with you.
I'm not getting either. I have no money.
But,
I hate to sound like a complete and utter spoil sport, but I've had a busy week, and I've got a busy weekend coming. I'm very tired, so can we skip over this bit and go for the last bit of news, which I've just added in, and then
I'm almost done.
Continue. Oh, you're almost.
I'm basically done with this.
Okay.
You should get a Wii U. Damn it! I want more friends on the Wii U. So whenever Mario Kart 8 comes out, you better get it. But that's it for that, and you can go on to your last piece.
Okay, well, the next bit, it's been all over the news in the UK this past week, and it probably hit other countries as well. A 15-year-old schoolboy who has been described as a loner and who played online video games such as Dark Souls and Grand Theft Auto, has just been charged, and the cause, I don't know the whole thing, I haven't been paying a huge amount of attention to it, but for stabbing to death his 61-year-old teacher.
Another one of these, oh God.
Yeah, another one of these, but unusually in the UK.
Okay, so it's different.
And I was going to say fantastic Daily Mail. I don't mean fantastic. I mean the god-awful newspaper. Why the hell are people still buying it? Utter trash newspaper are somehow trying to link the fact that this troubled youth that obviously had issues, but because he played video games, that's what it turned him into a teacher killer. I'm sorry, no. Okay, there are photos that have released of him with a pixel's face with an Achievement Hunter t-shirt, and apparently he was a bit of a loner, and apparently he was really clever but suffered from bouts of depression. No one's talking about the fact that maybe he had problems, mental issues, and he was depressive, but no, video games. No one said that heavy metal had something to do with it, and the fact that he was a bit of an outcast. No, it's the video games. It's the fact that he played Dark Souls, and that involves killing people, and the fact that he played Grand Theft Auto, and that involves killing people. God damn it, Daily Mail. Just stop it. You're just using the easiest thing you can think of to say why this troubled child has stabbed his teacher, and you're blaming it on something that millions of people worldwide, in an industry that's worth more than Hollywood, that's why why aren't there more people killing people because of video games? And yeah, okay, it comes out in the press now and then, but it's just, it's what happened in the 80s with the whole video nasty scene, and people apparently were killing people because they saw something gory. No, we're not that stupid. We don't do that. Most people, pretty much everyone, especially by the age of 15, can tell the difference between a video game and real life, and between stabbing someone in a video game and stabbing someone in real life. This chap obviously had terrible issues that needed to be looked at, and he obviously needs to just sort some shit out with someone. And yeah, he might have used video games as an escape, as some form of escape.
I think they're trying to get away from bullying as being, the reason that people are, going insane or killing people. And
well,
stuff like
it
that.
goes on to say that he'd reported that he'd been bullied, and it was talking about committing suicide. That is not the normal actions for people. He obviously had issues, but somehow it's all to do with video games. Video games are the bad thing here. Well, maybe the school teachers should have had some kind of notice and maybe should have flagged something up. Perhaps his parents should have said, well, hang on, maybe there's something not quite right here. Perhaps there's something we could do to help. Perhaps someone should have just fucking talked to the guy. But no, video games, that's what caused it. You know what, Daily Mail? Fuck you. I hate that paper. I don't understand why it's still working. I do understand why people are still buying it, because it's a lot of people's parents that buy it, because that's the way they see the world. But the fact is, the world is changing. There's stuff I don't understand. I'm not scared by it. Certain types of music. I don't get Justin Bieber. I really can't see it. Can't sing. He's
Me
a
either.
little
So
cult.
okay. And
But-
it's probably at least 50% of everybody in the world.
Yeah, and there are certain genres of music I hear it and I'm like, okay, I don't particularly like that. I can see something that I could find interesting, but if you like it, that's fine. I'm not going to judge you. But the Daily Mail is like, oh, something new. We don't understand it. It's scary. That's why people are doing stuff. I was like, well, really? No, that's not how it works. People aren't. I'm not driving cars around like a lunatic because I've played Gran Turismo or Forza, and people aren't doing that. They steal cars and go joyriding because it's fun. People stab people, they're teachers, not because it's fun, but because there is something messed up with them, and it's not because of video games. Yes, he might have played a lot of video games, but that is probably a sign of some deeper trouble that's affecting him. I suffer from depression, and I use video games as a form of escapism so that I can, forget about what's going on in my daily life and get away from stuff. It doesn't make me some kind of cold-blooded killer. It's not. It's if anything, it makes me less stressed. But somehow these games are terrible, and this loner who played online video games. How many games aren't online anymore? That's the thing that really pisses me off. And yeah, okay, it's a tragic story, and video games may or may not have something to do with it. I'm pretty sure they had nothing to do with it. What I am pretty sure of is the fact that this kid had mental issues that needed to be sorted out, and depression being a terrible, terrible thing that not enough people talk about. And really does need to be, it's got such a stigmatism to it, and yet, at least 2/3 of people, at some point in their life, will suffer from depression. I mean, it's huge, but everyone just wants to brush it under the carpet.
So when are they gonna start calling this like FPS syndrome or something, where people that kill people because of video games, quote unquote. I mean, it's just they're gonna name something stupid, or maybe somebody kills somebody, you might as well call it FPS syndrome,
or repetitive slaughter syndrome or something. I don't know.
it's stupid. People, the people that don't understand gaming and understand the human mind.
Well, my main issue with this story is it's not about what happened. It's about the way it's been reported, and it's about lazy journalism where they're just choosing to pick on, hey, he played video games, that must be it. Let's use that as the headline. That'll get readers. You know what? Screw you, Daily Mail, and screw you, any other freaking newspaper that chooses to take that lazy ass look at a story.
It's never gonna go away. Like, people
so much more about. No, it will go away if people stop buying the damn papers because they keep reporting this trash. If people stop clicking on the links, and if people stop actually paying attention to this utter shite, and the Daily Mail is prize for that. The amount of crap I've seen when I've walked in the petrol station and seen the paper there with the banal shite that they've had as their headlines. It is fucking horrific.
Well,
It really is. It's terrible. It's one of the worst newspapers in the UK. And I pretty much say it's as bad as The Sun, which has topless women on page 3, for fuck's sake. That's not news. That's mild porn. But it's sold as a
sounds like that sack
newspaper.
bar you just had.
Well, yeah, but that's sold as a newspaper, and it has no news in it. It might as well be a printed version of The Onion with some tits in it. And don't get me started on the fucking Daily Star.
Now we're
That's
going to
even
stop
worse.
you there so we can get out of this and get to the cleanup. But yeah, like people are going to read it because it's the paper and it's in there, and there is you could say a cult following of that kind of stuff because there are just people that read it and believe what's out of there. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind if it was the Daily Star, because the people that read the Daily Star, most of them know it's not, none of the news in that is fucking real. But every now and then the Mail actually does do some stuff that, if it's not about Princess Diana still, or the royal family, it's, shit about video games or the latest fucking diets. And yeah, it's just,
All right, I'm going to stop you there so we can get on and finish this podcast. Finish it, Dan. Finish the segment.
horrible.
Finish it.
Okay, sorry about that rant, but fucking Daily Mail really gets on my tits. Well, I'm going to take a few minutes to calm down here after ranting about the Daily Mail. We should be back in a few minutes after this news break, and hopefully I will have calmed down, but really, Daily Mail really fucks me up. Okay, we are back for what I hope is going to be Daily Mail free question of the week section and the cleanup and everything else. And last week we asked, what is the most outrageous thing you've done when rage quitting? For me, actually,
Dan read the Daily Mail and rage quit.
Oh man!
Just do that.
Yeah, I read the Daily Mail and I killed someone because they told me to. Anyway, we had a reply from our biggest listener. Well, I don't know how big he is, but the person that always tweets us and answers stuff, and that is Mr. Teflon212. And he says, I used to throw my controller as hard as I could into a pile of pillows when I died whilst playing Samurai Warriors.
Which is funny because I kind of did the same thing throwing whenever I tried not to break my controller. I
can imagine having this rage quit pile of pillows that you just like, ah!
No, like I didn't set up pillows to throw them into or anything. Like I would look at the softest. I'd hold it up there, and I'm like, man, if I don't find something in a second, I'm gonna throw this against the wall. And I'm like, there's a pillow right there, wham! But I'd throw it against the softest thing, so it or I throw it on the bed so it bounce back up and I catch and keep playing. But I throw it in the pillow, so I throw it in something soft because I didn't want to break because I knew I had to buy a new one if I broke it. But I've bent the controller, I've done all this stuff, and I've just gotten angry and whatnot. But I try my best before I break it to not break it.
Yeah, that was the only reply we've had really for the rest of the week. So, Gary, what are we doing for this week's?
Well, I just thought about this literally a minute ago. But I put, does Nintendo need to have an E3 press conference? Basically, this is, do they need to be on the stage and, show all this stuff to be a part of it? Or, is what they're doing right now, or what they did last year and what they're going to do this year fine? Because they're going to show all this stuff, and I think it's going to be completely fine. Actually, I think it'll be better than them actually going up or what the other companies do, like Microsoft.
I think what they're doing is genius.
Yeah, I really like the Nintendo Directs, and now they have their E3 ones, and I think since they did it last year, it's going to be a lot better, and they have different ones going up this year, not just like one big E3 Nintendo
And
Direct.
the people that want to see it will see it.
Oh, I will be seeing it, and I will be reporting on it. And if I do what I did last year, it's going to be me, doing a kind of summary of what happened during the press conferences. God, that took a lot of time out of my life.
Well, we might be able to do something else, which I've just thought about, so we'll consider that. Next up, we've got an email. Shall I take that, or do you want to take it?
It's up to you. I don't care.
Oh, I haven't read an email out for ages. Okay, so yeah, that's our question of the week. Do Nintendo have to have an E3 press conference, and what do you think about the way they've been doing it? And we're going to go on to the email now, and we have one email, a lengthy-ish one, from, as ever,
the sexy,
yeah,
the manly.
And
just go for it, say something stupid.
I'm just going to gloss over the punctuation here. What's up, Gamesmen? I hope the podcast is going well. Well, a bit longer than normal, but anyway, I'm writing this email to you because I could use some PC gamer advice on how to do a particular task. But you will need to know the story behind the question first. So, yesterday, I was playing Dark Souls 2 on my Xbox 360 for a few hours, and then needed to quit to go pick up a pizza. Yeah, fair enough. Delivery. When I returned with the pizza, my wife asked if she could use the 360 to watch Netflix while she worked. So I moved.
You said no.
Yeah, so I moved the 360 into the other room and hooked it all up. When I turned it on, it went to the startup screen, and I could hear a clicking noise coming from the right side of the console. After a few seconds, a black screen with white text appeared on my TV stating that there had been an error and I needed to contact the Xbox customer support page. Eventually, by doing this, I figured out that my 320 gigabyte hard disk drive had gone bad. So, in retrospect, that's 7 years of game saves that just went down the tubes, including all the progress I had been making in Dark Souls 2. I was outraged. However, I am planning on replacing the hard drive so I can still have all the content I've paid for. Now that's out of the way, onto my question. Oh, geez, really? I want to set up my PC so that I could play my PC games on my TV. What do you guys think is the best way to go about this? What are some other options in case the best way isn't available to me? Thanks in advance for the help, and as always, I love the show, and keep up the good work. Teflon 12. Well,
I'll take this first, and I was just, as Dan was reading it, I was kind of reading it through with him, so we didn't read it before he actually read it, or I at least didn't. And whenever you're talking about the hard drive going, I was like, my eyebrows were going off. I was like, oh fuck. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's horrible. But yeah, with the TV PC setup kind of thing, the first thing is going to be how close is your PC to your TV. If it's close enough, like mine is, I just hook a fucking HDMI cable up to it and go from there. But if it's further away, well, I don't know how the whole streaming stuff and whatnot works, or how you get to run over to it. But the next idea would be a Steam box to get it to go over to it.
You can get some fairly long HDMI leads, and as long as
it'll probably be cheaper than getting a box.
Sit close enough with the keyboard and mouse and have a nice surface for it. In fact, there's a brilliant keyboard you can get now with actually it's been available for ages. That's got an attached little bit to the side.
Well, he's probably not playing Dark Souls on a keyboard and mouse. So
well, that's true.
Let's just say if you're hooking up your PC to your TV and you want to play it like a Steam Box does, where you're using a controller, then you have your wireless controller, whatever, hooked up to it, and you can play your games that way.
I mean,
so
for example, I've got this, my grandfather's old bookshelf that I've repurposed and built into my entertainment center, and it's got my TV, my PC, my consoles, my DVD player, my Blu-ray player. You know, it's all hooked up there, and I've got a sliding keyboard tray. So if I want to play some of the control, I can use a wireless controller and sit on the sofa, or I can sit up closer, use the keyboard and mouse. I wouldn't go much. It depends on the TV size, because obviously, if you've got a massive ass TV, you don't want to be sitting as close because you're going to start having to move your head. I'm about 1.5 feet, 2 foot away from my screen. I can just about touch it with my index finger, and it's a 32-inch. That's a great size, and I can use that with keyboard and mouse, or sit back on my sofa and use the controller. It's a good sized TV for the room. But if I had like a 50-inch screen, I would want to be sitting further back, and that's going to cause issues with cables and stuff with the keyboard and mouse, because you can get a good wireless keyboard and mouse, but you will start noticing input lag compared with a proper wired keyboard and mouse. For proper hardcore gaming, it's got to be wired, as well with the controller. Something like Trials, or just having fun on whatever game, then that's fine. But as soon as you start taking it serious, it's got to be wired. But yeah, I mean, just HDMI cables. Or if you've got a TV with a DisplayPort adapter, then use that. That's even better than HDMI. HDMI can only put 2K. The DisplayPort that'll quite happily do 4K. And I'm guessing you haven't got a 4K TV because they are so stupidly expensive. But yeah, get the best quality, longest HDMI cable that you need, and that'll be fine.
No wonder I was talking and you kept talking, because my mic was muted. The whole time.
Your mute was muted.
Yeah. But, I have this 42-inch TV here, and I sit, I would guess, 3 to 4 foot away from it while we're watching TV and stuff. And whenever I am, if I want to show or have a game running well, so according and watch something, I can plug in my HDMI into it. But most people aren't or don't have their computer sitting right next to their TV. And the only reason that's happening is because, well, I'm in a small room right now, and I'm lucky to fit 2 computers and a TV in here as it is.
But there are some fantastic options for home theater PCs, which are small form factor and really pack a punch. I mean, if budget isn't an option, you can have something, similar size to the chunky PS3 or an Xbox One, and that thing can have 2 R9 290Xs in, or whatever. You can have some excellent power in there. If you want it quiet, you can water cool it. There's so many options with the PC. But yeah, if you can get away with having your PC in the living room and hooking that up to the TV, then do it.
Yeah, if there's gonna be a Steam box, you're gonna have to hook up your computer to your TV somehow. And if
there's the whole option of like streaming the games, but
that's basically what it is through the Steam box.
Yeah, depending on how you're doing it. But then you've got like 2 machines running, and there's more power involved, and there is a bit more lag from the controller input. It's not a huge amount. It's nowhere near as big as using something like on live, but it can be noticeable, especially on certain games like, let's say, StarCraft, for example, where it's all about actions per minute and getting stuff done really quickly. Or first-person shooters. But if you're playing Walking Dead or something, and input lag, it really isn't noticeable in games like that. So
well, with The Walking Dead, it could be noticeable if you're choosing the last second.
Yeah, but it would have to be such a late call. I mean,
I've done it before where it's like the last possible, like,
Yeah,
like
but we're also
last possible
talking
part of a
input
second.
lag that's so tiny that unless you were like a pro gamer playing an FPS, you wouldn't notice it. Yeah, I guess the roundup is get an HDMI lead. And we are going to continue with the rest of the cleanup, and we've got some TGM checks. Gary, why don't you take the first one?
All right, so the first one is from I'll just say his real name first because it's a lot easier. Eric, wait, no, Ethan, that's his name. Anyway, our first one is from Ethan, or Taneko MG. Maybe it's Metal Gear. I don't know because I've been talking to him about Metal Gear and Metal Gear Solid or whatever lately. And well, just going this real fast. I bought the Metal Gear Legacy Collection, and I'm gonna be playing that a lot. And next week I'll try to remember to talk about all the other shit that I've been playing. Anyway, at the Gamesmen RPG hashtag TGM check Dark Souls, Metal Gear Solid 5, Ground Zeroes, and Chocobo Racing, and he's also on Nintendo Oki, if basically every other week. If you're not on like a couple weeks in a row, he's on pretty decently on that show, and he's fun to listen to. So yeah, I would check out Nintendo Oki and listen to him, and those guys over there, they're hilarious. I listen to them like every week. Actually, no, I do listen to them every week. And Dan, you can take the next one.
Well, the next one is from a chap that's pretty much on the show as much as Gary and myself, and that is Mr. Teflon212. And he says, at the Gamesmen RPG, hashtag TGM check, lots and lots of Dark Souls 2. Guess you're going to be restarting that. Also, a session of Titanfall with a friend.
Which, speaking of Titanfall, we both forgot to put that in our
we
game
did
we've been
indeed.
playing.
We played some with DJ Leroy85.
Yes, he finally picked up the game, and
it didn't take him 6 weeks to install like he thought it was going to.
But we had a blast, and I found out this thing that I do when I'm playing FPSs, and I have this maniacal, crazy, evil laugh when I snap somebody's neck, and like I'll go in, I'll snap like, and I just go crazy. I'm like, oh, I snapped his neck, and I did like 3 times in a match, and I was just freaking out the whole time. But we had such a blast, and we won like 1, maybe 2 of the 6 matches we did that night. But we were having so much fun that we didn't care at all.
And he was playing it earlier today, and he was like, I dropped a titan on someone, and then I dropped a titan on someone else's titan. It was brilliant. I was like, ah.
Yeah, so I did that too, where I dropped
don't try dropping it on the dropship. But yeah, still great fun game. Matchmaking's a bit better, but yeah. So yeah, I guess we're going on to the shout-outs. Now, normally we'd be getting the third person on the show to start first, but he's gone. So sorry, Mr. Murdoch. What I'm going to say is check out his books.
Did some of his stuff.
Yeah, he kind of already did. Check out his books. They are fantastic. If you want to listen to them, a few of them are on podiobooks.com. Just
as I mentioned earlier.
JRMurdock. Just check them out. They're brilliant. Gary, shout-outs.
Okay, so this week I want to shout out a couple podcasts, and I don't think I'll have to look, but this one I don't think has a podcast. But Game Enthused, like I said earlier, I try to get them on a show because Tony said the games episode. He's like, yeah, I'm glad they're back. The game episodes were good when I was on them. So I tried to get him and Aaron on. I tried to get one of them on today at least, and neither one of them could show up because they got tickets for a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
So neither of them got on, but they did mention us and shout us out kind of during the last podcast, and it's all. It seems like we're people are the older or the community podcast we dealt with a lot. Are noticing that we are back more and more, and seems like we're getting more shout outs and we're getting noticed, and it's just exciting that people actually notice that we're back, and well, I'm a very happy camper, and I'm sure Dan is too. But other than the game enthused, we got, well, you hear this in the next section, but we got followed by Everyday Gamers. And I don't know if they're brand new or something, or they just decided to follow us in a couple of the podcasts.
Rings a bell, man. I'm sure I've heard of the Everyday Gamers and listened to them a while back.
Wait, sorry. I'm thinking something completely different. That's gonna get it. That's gonna be in the next place. This is Everyday Gamers. Sorry, I completely got this mixed up. You'll hear this in a minute anyway. But Everyday Gamers, Meef shouted us out again, and because he shouted us out on the last podcast, and that deals with Holy Headshot. The main three people are Meef J, Holy Headshot, and Eric Bouchard, or AZ Rockslide. And they have a good podcast. They shout us out. We've been talking, and they're doing something for Operation Dropbox or something like that. I can't remember what it's called right now. But they're going to be doing a 24-hour gaming marathon for them, with a bunch of other people, of course. And they're going to be using our TeamSpeak, and, they called me out on the show asking about, well, they're like, do you hate the soldiers, Gary? So, I sent out a tweet to Scotsman, and he said, yeah, they can use it and everything. So they'll be doing 24-hour game marathon. I'm sure going to be on for while they're doing and stuff like that as well. And I'll be talking to them, and come join them while they're gaming. I can't remember the date. Maybe I'll mention next week whenever I find out. But I think it is in May this month. So I will let you guys know. I don't think it's for a couple weeks still. But yeah, I'll let you know about them. And then Nintendo Oki, they called me out last week or 2 weeks ago, I can't remember now, but about Shaq Fu. And there's another thing I forgot to mention.
Oh, Jesus, man.
I kickstarted Shaq Fu, the Legend Report.
It's your fault, Gary. It's your fault.
It's them for calling me out on it. So I spent $100 on Shaq Fu, and I sent them an email, and they read it out, and they didn't judge me as hard as I thought.
But as hard as they should have.
Possibly. I'll talk about that next podcast because we need to get out of here today. But Dan, that's it for my shout outs, and I'll shout out the last place whatever I'm doing to clean up. So go on, sir.
Okay, well, first shout out has to be to my best friend who's getting married on Sunday, which is why we're recording this early. My good friend Rich Turner. It's been fantastic knowing him. He probably isn't even going to listen to this, but you never know. It's been an absolute pleasure having you as a friend for the past 15, 16 years. I'm looking forward to many more years of our friendship together. You humbled me so much by asking me to be your best man, and I hope that I can do justice at the wedding. The other people I want to shout out are all the people that replied to me on my emergency tweet. Unfortunately, didn't get anything back from George Takai, but I did get something back from Holly Bennett at Holly B on Twitter, and Mr. Jim Sterling at Jim Sterling on Twitter. He would have been on, but he was about to record some stuff at the same time, and he said sorry, couldn't get on. At Whack Producer, I can't remember his name, but I know Steve knows him, and he used to be on Pat Preezy, I think it is. He said can't do it. He's on vacation. Pook, otherwise known as Super Pook, who's a big Call of Duty player. She couldn't get on because she was going to bed. And Dave Oshry, he was like, when? Right now? But I'm at work, so he can get on. So thank you, all of you, for getting back to me and for trying to at least replying. If you're listening, follow all of those guys. They're brilliant, especially.
None of them are listening to this podcast right now.
Yeah, but if you do follow any of them, say Hardlydan from the Gamesmen RPG sent you. Especially Jim Sterling, because he is brilliant. He really, really is. And if you're not following him already, George Takei, Sulu from Star Trek, the original series, genius. Absolutely brilliant person. Follow him. Other than that, I'd like to thank Mr. Murdock for coming onto the show, and obviously you, Gary, for making all this stuff happening with your editing skills. And
another awesome week of editing.
And that's about it. So, web for the week to come. I'm going to fill in for Mr. Murdock here. Google his name. I'm sure you'll be able to find it. He's an author, JRMurdock. There's, again, brilliant books. But, Gary, where can we find you?
PSN, Amorous0289, Xbox, Amorous89, along with Skype. Or no, sorry, not Skype. Twitter, that's what it is. And Steam and Skype are Amorous_89 with the Nintendo Network being Amorous1289. And that'll do it for me. Dan, where are you going to be?
Well, as for me, in any place I'm comfortable with, you get hold of me, I am Hardlydan, so give that a go in your Skype and whatever else. Well, not your Skype, because there is a Hardlydan for that, but I never use it. Steam, everything, gaming-wise, and we'll probably, I've gone a bit croaky. But yeah, Hardlydan pretty much everywhere. That's where you'll find me. So, Gary, looks like you're in the hot seat. Take us out. So.
Let me wipe this bitch's ass. So we're going to be on, as always, Facebook, and you can find us at the Gamesmen RPG or the Gamesmen Facebook page or whatever you want to look. Just look up the Gamesmen. If we're not the Australian company, we are the Gamesmen in the other place. So look at us there. No new likes, and get us some more voicemails. At the RPG hotline at 412-267-RPG1, and that is, I'll say it slower, 412-267-RPG1, because we want more of those, and we love them, and we love you people, and be like last week with Teflon212, where he sent one in, because we love listening to those things, and, talking to you people and whatnot. And hell, if you want to be on the podcast, just let us know. And if you want us to know, if you're not getting us on Twitter, get us on the emails at thegamesrpg@gmail.com. And then also there, if you don't want to call into the RPG hotline, you can also record and send your MP3s there, or you can do what I do and record and then edit and then send it. Because I'm crazy. Anyway, but like I said before, the Twitter account is at the Gamesmen RPG, and we actually have a new follower, which is like what I screwed up earlier with the Everyday Gamers. It's actually Good for Gaming, and they followed us. They mentioned us on Twitter and everything as a podcast to check out. And apparently, what they do is they kind of summarize what the podcast is about, send it out to people, let them know. And, that could help us get some new subscribers and everything. We'll see what happens after the podcast comes out on Sunday. So I'll probably mention them next week. But they're pretty cool for what I've seen them doing. Actually, I heard Game Enthused mention them also this week. So I would definitely check them out. I don't think they have a podcast or anything. I'll check that out and also let you know next week about that. So, other than that, you can listen to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/GamesRPG. And I think this will be the week or weekend or whatever that I'm going to try to get all the back podcasts up in this podcast up on YouTube, because I've been kind of slacking on the YouTube for the podcast. And I'll try to get a TGM tag along up as well. So look forward to that stuff. And then you can also get us at on Twitter at #TGMCheck for the games we've been playing for last week, and then also TDM quest for the quest that we had, which just scroll up, which is does Nintendo need to have does Nintendo need an E3 press conference like Sony and Microsoft and whatnot? And then we also have a Twitch stream which we haven't been on lately. Hopefully that comes up soon. We'll let you know whenever we stream more stuff. But last but not least, iTunes reviews. Send us in one. 5 stars is awesome, but we like to know
5 stars, no stars, any stars. Just give us a damn review.
Yeah, we want to hear your opinions on the podcast. I've heard good things from other podcasts, but you are the listener for the most part, and we want to know what you think.
Honesty. Where can we improve? What were we doing wrong? What can we do better?
If you don't want to say it in iTunes review, you can send us an email saying, what you'd like to hear. Give us, even if you don't want the email or tweet or whatever read on the podcast, just say, please don't say this on the podcast, and we won't do that, and we'll try to be as good as we can for you, and focus your needs as well as we can. But other than that, I am done. Dan, get us out of here.
Okay, well, that will do for episode 18. I've got to go and write a speech. So, on behalf of JRMurdock, on behalf of Amorous89, Gary Lever, I am Dan, Hardlydan Natman. We are the Gamesmen. And until the next time, we ask,
what role will you play?
What role will you play?
That's supposed to be your JRMurdock kind of thing.
No, that's just kind of generic weird accent.
So I'm looking at Freddy Fish in whatever pajamas, and I remember those when I was a kid as well.
Pajama Sam. He's awesome.
Pajama Sam, yeah.
You haven't answered that. We'll probably ask you about what the most outrageous thing you've done playing a game and rage quitting is.
I talked about Super Mario with my girlfriend long, long ago.
That's not rage quitting, surely, is it?
No.
I think you should talk about that.
That was more entertaining. Definitely far more entertaining.
And then, of course,
every time you died, okay.
Another item of clothing.
Time to shred something.
I will force you.
Can you die faster? You die faster? Hurry up.
I can't keep this up forever.
Well, actually, I could. I was, 19 at the time, so... Keeping it up forever wasn't a problem then.
If not fully satisfied with this podcast, please return any portions for a full refund.